What's going on, guys? Welcome back to CrossFlix, where we talk about movies and TV across all different genres. Today's review, we're going to be talking about Morbius. So, let's get to it. I'm going to be going into spoilers in this video, and I will say when, but I'm going to try to do the first little part of it as non-spoiler as possible, I guess. Which, I mean, it should be easy to do. So, unfortunately, what happened with Morbius is that it was pushed back more times than I think almost any movie. And I think because of the success of No Way Home, they had to change certain things to it. And whether that made that movie better or worse, we honestly don't know. But it went through a lot of changes, and you can tell a lot of stuff that was in the trailer wasn't. And typically, I hate that with movies, which surprisingly, I'm not as upset about it with this movie as I usually am. So I'll get to that a little bit later. But it had a lot of hate going into this week for whatever reason. Everybody was saying it's the worst comic book movie ever. I think it's sitting at like a 15 or 13% of Rotten Tomatoes right now. I'm sure I don't think the audience score is out yet, but I'm sure it'll be pretty bad just based off of the way last week went. And so if you don't know, last week the director did a Q&A and pretty much answered every single question possible and even spoiled not only the movie but the after credit scene. So that was a little unfortunate, but because it got such shitty reception in the early screenings that they did last week, I think they kind of did that on purpose to kind of lower fans' expectations because there's a lot of hype going into this after the success of Spider-Man No Way Home. So that's why I think some of their changes might have actually been for the better, and this movie could have been a lot worse. So with that being said, it's not a great movie. It's not the best movie at all. Also not the worst comic book movie. I still think the worst comic book movie, besides Howard the Duck, is probably Green Lantern, and I feel like this was way better than Green Lantern. I liked some aspects of this movie. I liked the visuals to the movie. I thought like the little like flares that go on behind him while he's flying and whatever. So I thought that was cool. That was nice. They don't cut out every reference to Spider-Man or Spider-Man characters like a lot of people were saying, and they said that it's completely out of the Venom universe. It's not in there at all. They cut everything that had to do with Venom, and they didn't really. The only thing that I noticed they cut was Spider-Man in the background on the poster when he was running, and one of Michael Keaton's scenes as Vulture. They still have that scene in the movie, it's cut down a little bit. So that's it when it comes to that. I mean, that's like as much non-spoilerish as you could get with it. So now I'll be going into some spoiler talk. So 3, 2, 1. Like I said, I feel like this movie is getting a lot more hate than it deserves, but it's nothing to praise about. It's nothing to write home about. Usually I see these movies 2-3 times in theaters. I think with Venom 2 and this, I only saw it the one time in theaters, and I'm probably not going to see it a second time. There's really no need to. I'll buy it on DVD, yeah, but I'm not going to pay for it in the theaters again because I just really don't need to. I don't really feel like looking out for Easter eggs when this part of the universe can really go nowhere, essentially. Sony doesn't really have a good track record with their Marvel movies unless they're partnered with Marvel Studios. So we'll see how it plays out in the future. But at the same time, like I just said a minute ago, they didn't cut out every Spider-Man reference. There's the reference to Rhino still. I didn't catch if they still had the Black Cat one or not. I saw that they mentioned Chameleon. It definitely is set in the Venom universe with Tom Hardy. There's a scene that's in the trailer where they talk about San Francisco and where he's messing with a criminal and he's like, "I'm Venom." Like it's still in the movie, so it's definitely in that universe. And I really do think that they're going to bring in Andrew Garfield for this universe and have with Venom and Morbius and Kraven. I think they're going to have that be Andrew Garfield's universe, and they're going to make that Sinister Six movie that they wanted to, and they're going to have him fight the Sinister Six, and they honestly kind of owe it to him. And if they don't, it's whatever, it's fine, but at least there is some sort of continuity in these movies. I didn't expect the villain to be who it was going to be. I don't know much about the characters. I was kind of surprised, but not really, to find out that his buddy is the villain of the movie, and he's the villain of the movie a lot longer than I thought he would have been. So that was kind of cool. It was just I don't feel like they gave that away in the trailers. I don't know if I watched all the trailers or not. I'm pretty sure I did, but I don't think they ever once showed him as the vampire bad guy. So that was kind of cool. The fight scenes were okay. They just kind of zoom in, and then you hear some stuff, and they zoom in where they jump to next, and just it's not. There's no real hand-to-hand combat, so the fights were kind of weak. I like the visuals, but I don't think they're going to hold up in 5 to 7 years probably. So there's that. There is the love interest like usual, but they don't overplay it. It's not over the top, so that's not bad. And going into the post-credit scenes, I did read everything before going into it because I don't want to go into it with high expectations and be really disappointed and actually hate it. Like I do, it's a watchable movie, so I don't not like it. So going into it with that mindset of having the movie spoiled and the post-credit spoiled last week by the director, it actually kind of helped because I was able to just sit there and watch the movie and not really expect anything. So that was nice. But the post-credit scenes, like while they can make sense, you can twist it in a way that it makes sense, it also just doesn't. Like they didn't need to have two of them. They probably could have just had one, and the one of the post-credit scenes is a little bit of what was in one of the trailers, and they didn't really need that at all in there. You can tell it's a clip that was supposed to be in the movie just for a little thing as a little cameo, and they just moved it to the post-credit thing. So you can definitely tell where it could have fit and whatnot. Definitely could have been handled better, but like I said before, with the success of No Way Home, I think that kind of caused them to shift things around because there could have been a lot more controversial stuff in this movie that could counter some of the other stuff that they either said they were going to do or that they were trying to do in the other movies. So it might have worked out for the better that it's not as good as it could have been. And I think in the end, Sony's looking at the end game of this and for a long time in the future, and that they kind of had to cut the best parts of this one to make the future installments even better. I personally feel that's what they did. I'm hoping that's what they did. I don't know, but only time will tell. So in the end, I mean, I probably give this movie, I mean, a lot of people are saying it's really, really bad. I don't think it's really, really bad. I'll probably give it like a 6.5 just because it's watchable, but and I like Jared Leto. This poor guy. He keeps getting screwed by studios and scripts with his really cool characters. So, I mean, that sucks. But like I said, I think they released this movie just because it's been pushed back way too many times and they didn't want to keep pushing it back. Otherwise, it would have lost any hype that it had left for it. We'll see what happens in the future. Again, 6.5. Not a bad movie, not the best movie. I'm not going to watch it more than once in theaters, so I already saw it the one time, so I'm good. I'll wait till it comes out on DVD. And I'll just hope for the best for the future for this. So that's my take. That's my review. I'll see you guys in the next video.